Yeah. So, what projects we are going to cover as part of this entire training? That is the one concept we discussed. The another concept is here. I just executed one scenario how to execute the scripts in a manually and how we can implement via automation. Okay. So, whenever comes to the automation, we just pick the automation tool and then we do a verification and then closing the browser. Okay. That is the point. So here, I just explained to you if you learn the Tosca, the what is the exactly benefit. If you learn Tosca team, it will be very helpful for you because even if you are trying to keep some experience on Tosca, it is possible. Okay, because there is no code, easily we can sustain our jobs without any dependencies. Okay, so coming to here, the real-time training point of view, you are going to learn a complete end-to-end real-time scenarios. It is not a theoretical thing. It is not a theoretical. See, in entire training point of view, you'll get a completely hands-on experience over here. Complete hands-on experience over here. Okay? Now, so see here, in our last class, I just explained we'll get a training on Tosca Commander. Later on, I'll explain Tosca Cloud. So we'll get a training on Tosca Commander. Later on, I'll explain the Tosca Cloud. And even we had a discussion how to create a project in Tosca. Okay. To create a project, what options we choose. Okay. This learning is nothing but we can use one database option only for learning purpose. SQLite is equal to learning purpose. The common repo is nothing but this is the workplace where we can see everyone work in the area. Okay. So what is mean by common repository? Already we discussed that part. This thing is related to a Selenium team. So when coming to a Tosca point of view, such a things GitHubs and Bitbuckets, all these repositories are not at all required. So we can simply use Tosca Commander common repository. Tosca Commander itself, we create a project within the common repository with the help of database option. You can see in the below screen the database is already selected. If you use existing repository, see here Tim, the above one checkbox use existing repository checkbox. If this checkbox is enabled, then what happens? If it is disabled, then what happens? Those points are mentioned here. If checkbox is enabled, Tim, that means the project it's already created and even some people are working on that particular project. Coming to a disable section, if you disable this use existing repository option, that means you are creating a new workspace to your respective team members. Everyone clear with this project creation team? Please respond. So everyone clear with the last session, right? I just recapped everything here right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. So today's concept is here, team. Tosca modular framework. Tosca modular framework. So you may get one interview question over here. Okay. If you go any automation thing, if you go any automation, definitely they'll ask one question. What framework are you implemented in your project? The framework. Framework it is nothing but some process. We have to define some folder structure in a proper manner. That is we call it as a framework. In Tosca project point of view, if you create a project, if I create a project, so what is happening? Inbuilt. So by default or inbuilt, it will create a framework, right? At the time of project creation only, it will create the framework. At the time of project creation, it will create the framework. This framework, we call it as a modular framework. This framework, we call it as a modular framework. Clear? Okay. So within this modular framework, what type of folders it is auto retrieved? Okay. If we create a project team, you may able to see these many sections inside this project. One is requirement section. Another one is issues section. Another one is test planning, modules, test case section, test case design section, configuration section, data, integrity testing. So do we have any other sections, team? Totally how many sections are listed here? 8 sections. Everyone clear? Team? Okay. So if you create any project, by default, it will create this particular structure. This is a, we call it as a framework. Let me show you. Open Tosca Commander. So Tosca Commander. Open this Tosca Commander. So once I open this commander, right now I'm using a latest version, team. Probably you may also get the latest version for installations. Okay. Once the management people shared this latest version to you all, you can go through it and download and install the file. Download and install the file. Okay. So the next point is here. Once we log into the project, double click on this project. See, it's already created a number of projects. Let me pick here a Bank of America project. Okay. If you do a double click on this one, enter the password. Mhm. Let me enter admin. Yes. So see here, at the time of login to the workspace, this password is very important. Okay. So in latest version, in 2025, the password is important, but older versions, it is not important. Understand? Okay. Now coming back to here, see here, this is a Bank of America project. Let me retrieve this one as a bigger window. Everyone able to see the entire structure. I'm not created these things, team. See here, configuration tab is added, data integrity, executions, issues, modules, reporting, requirement, test case design, test cases, test planning. Are you able to see each and everything is selected here, team?
Yes, ma'am.
So the thing is, if you create a project by default, automatically it will create the framework. Okay, you no need to bother about the creation of the framework. Why I am bringing this framework point here? See, if someone is working on Selenium or other automation tools, must we have to set up the framework? We are the persons to set up the framework. That is the thing we have to do. But in Tosca, we no need to spend that much of time to set up the framework. some specific folder structures. By default, when you create a project, by default, it will capture the modular framework and all these sections are added as part of this particular project. Okay. So out of all these sections, what are each section? I'll tell you each section purpose and the usage in real time team. Okay. If you go to here, I just selected three sections. These three sections are acting as a test management tools. Anyway, you know what are the test management tools right now we are using in market? What are the tools are most frequently used, team?
Jira,
Jira,
Azure DevOps.
HPLM, and Azure DevOps. So we do have a lot of tools here, right? Already the companies are using these kind of test management tools. But even Tosca Commander providing a facility to maintain the project requirements. Clear? If you want to maintain a project requirement or issues or test plannings, yes, you can do that. Tosca is providing this facility to maintain the project requirements. In the requirement section, we use to maintain the requirement. In the issues section, we go and we raise a bugs to the developer. In a test planning section, the test manager create a test plans for the coming sprints. Our scrum master is going to set up the thing here. This is what the meaning of these three sections. Okay. So the note point is here. We cannot we cannot use these sections in real time. If you are working in a real time team, so we no need to involve in this area. The involvement is not at all required here. Understand? Why these are not at all required? So we are not using Tosca Commander as a test management tool. Okay. Instead of that, already the projects are already committed with these kind of test management tools. Clear? Understand, team?
So,
So we are not using these sections as a test management tool. Then what is the purpose of adding? So these sections it's added by default within the framework, but it's not like that. We are going to work on these areas. Okay. So the next sections are here. The next sections are here, these four sections. So what are the sections I here highlighted here, team? Tosca Commander use these sections to automate the test cases. To automate the test cases. So the Tosca Commander is using these sections only for automation purpose. Automate the test cases. So automate the test cases means team right now we are going to involve in these areas. Okay. These all are the sections we use in real time to work on automation perspective. Automation perspective. So what is module section? What is test case section? What is test case design and executions? I'll tell you. Team. Okay. So right now, are you remember we are automated one scenario verification of Amazon pages, right? Amazon tabs. Okay. If I take one test case as an example, let us take an login functionality. So here write a manual test case. Okay. Write a manual test case. To write a manual test case anyway, the first step is here open URL. The next step is click on login hyperlink. and then enter email ID, enter email ID, and then enter password, then click on login. This is the manual test step. Okay. Now we have to automate this manual test step into this above sections. Okay. So here team, first we go to a module section to capture technical data. So in Tosca point of view, we call it as a technical information. But in automation point of view, like if you go any Selenium or any Raft, Cucumber frameworks or Playwrights, we call it as a object repository. We call it as a object repository. What exactly this module section it holds? This module section it holds the objects related address stream. For example, if I want to perform a click operation on login, so you have to capture the login related information inside modules. So team, how to capture? So we can capture these things with the help of scan. With the help of scan. So let me show you here this particular example today. So see here, I'm just opening NVP Commerce demo.nwpcommerce.com. So within this site, you can go through here. Once I log into the website, I have to perform a click on login. So as a manual tester, I'm able to see here the click on login here. Okay. I just want to give a same information to automation to perform a click operation on this login. How to do that? If you want to give a same info, so you're just asking Tosca to click on this login. So Tosca directly it is not able to understand this one, right? Either you have to give the naming conversion or you have to capture this login related information. So what is mean by login related information? If you do right click on this login, you go to inspection. Within this inspection, you are able to see the code of this login hyperlink. If you are seeing this login hyperlink successfully in the web page like UI, that means something is coded in the backend. The front end developer is added this code. That is the reason this login is visible in successfully. That is the reason this login is visible successfully. So see here team, this is the entire HTML coding. Front end development, we can say it is a HTML code. As a automation tester, do I need to learn this HTML code team? It is not at all required, but at least if you have a knowledge on these kind of tags, that is a pretty much enough. Okay, but don't worry, as part of automation, we are going to discuss all these tags. Okay, now. So here, what is the tag here? A tag. A means in HTML point of view, we always use A tag for hyperlinks. Okay. Clear team? We just capture this login information. We just capture this login information in a automation. Clear any questions right now? Okay, no questions. So see here, then you can go to the Tosca commander. So go to a Tosca commander and then scan a login. So in Tosca Commander, we always use the module section to hold the technical data. Go to the modules and do a checkout here. Once you do a checkout, let's do right click on here. scan application. In Tosca point of view, we always create the modules with the help of scanning only. Always go to a scan and then create the module. So how to create a module? You can choose the application option here. Okay. Click on application. So once you click on application, now you can see the application window is opened here. Okay. Then click on this particular application and then scan. Once you scan this page, automatically it load all the properties of this particular page. Are you able to see the number of hyperlinks, number of control categories here?
Yes.
So out of all, we don't want all these controls. So out of all, which control I want as of now?
Login.
Only a login. Okay. So go to this login and then click on this respect to checkbox. Once you click on this respect to checkbox, so Tosca itself, it is stating, I mean, it is giving one information to us. What are the control you selected right now? The selected control is unique. Everyone able to see the bottom of the page, the unique message.
Yes.
The
Yes, ma'am.
selected item is unique.
Unique.
So you
Tick to
no
tick.
need to spend much time here to capture the technical data. So usually what happens in Selenium, so basically we write a CSS path, X path manually. If you go any automation, the most of the automations we do inspection like this, and we go here and we'll write the code based on these HTML tags only. Okay. But in Tosca, you no need to do such a kind of activity. It's a very simple. Just go to module, scan application, and then choose this application option here. Automatically, it shows the selected item is unique. Are you able to see the selected item is unique message?
Yes.
Everyone? So, what properties Tosca by default here it is captured? If you go to here, the right one is a identify by properties section. Inside this, we do have one more subsection as a technical. In this technical, two controls, that means two checkboxes selected. One is inner text and another one is the tag. Tosca is identified this particular control as a unique with the help of inner text and tag. Clear?
Good.
Understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Once you scan this one, just simply save the module. Close it. So if you go to the module section, are you able to see one module is created? NOP commerce. I just selected only login. That is the reason only login is visible here. If you see here, this is a login hyperlink. And if you go to the properties pane in the right side, you can expand this properties pane like this. Scroll down. So are you able to see what properties are added for login hyperlink? Inner text and a
Okay.
tag to make a unique. Okay. So we just identified this login as a unique based on the properties. That means address. What address we captured? We just captured a tag and inner text only. So this is the way we use to create a module team. So the purpose of module is to capture the technical data, to capture the technical information. Once you capture the technical information, we have to create a test case. To create a test case team, here we are it is always depends upon the module and drag and drop the scanned module into a test case section. Drag and drop a scanned module into test case section. Once you drag and drop the module into a test case section and then do the development. Do the development. Let me show you. So go to this is the test case section. Let me do a checkout here. Now go to modules. Right now I just scan this module, right? Right now I scan this particular module, right? Drag this module. So at the time of dragging, you may able to see some stop icon, but don't stop directly. Go to exactly on your test case main folder and drop here. Are you able to see automatically one test case is created and test step is added along with the login is also added here? Clear team?
Yes.
Then perform a click operation here. That's it. But before this, we have to automate OpenURL. I'm not created any module for OpenURL because Tricentis team it's already provided some standard module. So here you can see this is the OpenURL module. Drag and drop this OpenURL module to test case and do development. Let me rearrange this one to the first. You can drag and drop this one to first to rearrange the modules team. So let me capture this particular URL. Go back to here, enter the URL. Understand? If you want to create one automated test case, what is the prerequisite here? Module. Understand the importance of the module? If you want to create a successful automated test case, this test case development it's always having a dependency on the module section. Dependency on the module section. Clear? So once the module creation is completed, team, simply do one thing from your side. You can go here and drag and drop this module to test case and do the development. In this entire training, we are going to learn what are the possible ways we have and what type of challenges we may face in real time at the time of module creation. So we'll discuss end to end and point to point all the points here in the module section itself only. Okay. Once you create these module section, all these things, then drag and drop to execution section. Coming to a test case section and then do the execution here. Understand? Any questions here, team? Hmm?
Ma'am, I have one question. So,
Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, in modules and in test case, you first did right click and check out. What was the purpose of that?
Yes. So here it is a common user repository, right? So this is a common user only. What is mean by common user repository? It is a multi-user environment. Let us assume that three people are working together. For example, Anusha is working same project. Even Abir is also working same project. Sai is also working same project. So in my system, I'm able to see the project. Even your system also, you can see same project. So whenever we are working with a common user repository, we use to perform these team activities. If you go to here home tab, team, you can see here the terminology also very clearly. What is the meaning of this one? Team activities. What exactly these things? See here team, once you log into the project, initially everyone have only read permissions. Everyone is having only read permissions. If you want to edit anything or if you want to modify anything, we always go to the checkout option. Understand? Checkout it's nothing but we are just getting edit access to create a test case or to create a module. Abir?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
So initially the project, okay? Initially the project itself it has only a read permission. Okay? To get edit access to create a module or test cases, we have to perform a checkout or checkout tree. Any of these two options are fine. But don't worry, I'll discuss these two options maybe in tomorrow's class. All these options, what exactly happening, how the people are working in a common user environment. Okay. Any questions, team?
And one more thing that open URL you dragged and dropped from modules. So from where to select that standard modules?
So here, the standard module, it's a part of project creation. Okay. You no need to add the standard module subset manually. So here, what exactly the purpose of the standard module? So some things are quite common for all applications. Okay, like opening of the web application or some Excel operations, some PDF operations, something related to database operations, some SAP related, some actions we do frequently for all applications. What are the actions are quite common for the project perspective? It will capture automatically those things here. These all are the modules created by Tosca itself only. But right now I created one more module here. What is that module? It is a project specific. If we have any common things, definitely we use the standard modules only. So the open URL is quite common for any kind of web application, correct?
It's
So the open URL is quite common for any kind of web application. That is the reason already this thing is added. So this standard module subset, so we can say here standard.tsu. Standard.tsu files. TSU means Tosca subset. Even if you miss to add the standard modules, we can upload that. If you go to home tab, everyone able to see here one option import subset. Within this import subset, so here you can import it. But seems like import subset is in disable mode, correct? Seems like import subset option is disable mode, correct? How to enable this import subset? To enable this import subset, go to your respective project and then do checkout at project level. If you do checkout at project level, that means now the import subset is enabled. Everyone able to see that tip? Yes, right? Click on here in Tosca Pro Commander. Here you can see these all are the some of the predefined Tosca subsets provided by Tricentis Tosca. Okay, just select standard.tsu file and then import it. So standard.tsu file we can import manually or you can select this option at the time of project creation. Clear? Team clear? Any questions? Okay. So the next one is here. If we go back to our scenario, now we understand what exactly module section we are doing and test case section. So we do have one more section team, execution section. But before going to an execution, let me discuss about test case design. But let me go execution. So the purpose of this particular execution section team to run the test cases. Okay. Final execution, or you can say like run the test cases. Whatever the test cases we completed, we just simply drag and drop Only drag and drop option. Drag and drop a test cases into execution list folder and run the test cases. Okay, we just use execution section only for running purpose. Clear? Team, everyone clear with these options, right? Okay. So you may ask one more question in the last. What about this test case design? So this test case design is nothing but it is a kind of data driven framework. See here, team. The above mentioned three sections we will work on any kind of project. If you get access to mobile application, yes, we used to work with these three sections. If you get access to work on SAP, yes, we used to work on these three sections. Any kind of project category, may either SAP or API or web or desktop, whatever the project category. These sections are common. Okay. So what about right now I'm explaining this when we call it as a data driven framework. Anyone having any idea what is data driven framework? We use test case design to design the data, design the test data. Why data is required? See here, team. Right now, I mentioned here enter email ID password. Now tell me what is email ID and password? So this email ID and password both are data only, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
The below fields, the below fields are acting as a required data or below fields required data. Email we require data and password we require data. So here team, if you want to test this login functionality with the different combinations of data, we use test case design to design the data. For example, I'll create here ABC as a username and then password is abc at gmail.com. So now tell me team, is this valid data?
No, ma'am.
It is a invalid data. So we can design the data different combinations in a test case design like it is a invalid data. So if I go to again one more point here, valid data, valid data. So what is mean by valid data? So here you have to enter your appropriate email ID, the authorized email ID. I'm just using this email ID and here the password point of it, just enter the password. Okay, this is a valid data. So again, if you want to run the script with a different combination, like here you can see valid email and invalid password. So I'm just doing here positive and negative testing team. If you are passing some positive data, that means it is a positive testing. If you are passing some invalid data, it is a combination of invalid testing. Understand? So to check the login screen it is working as expected or not, we are just checking this login screen with the different combinations of data. To prepare such a kind of different combinations of data, we call it as a data driven framework. Understand?
Yes.
I
Yes,
can say like a different combinations of data. So the purpose is test case design only to design the data. Okay. Once you design the data here, simply drag and drop. Once the data creation is done, simply again drag and drop test data to a test case. You can drag and drop this particular test case data onto a test case. Okay. Once you drop here, that means why we are dropping into a test case level? Mapping purpose. Okay. To map the data. We're just using this one to map the data. Clear? Everyone? Guys, everyone able to understand the purpose of test case design? Okay. So now we understand the automation perspective. So if you go to the framework, within the framework, we just discussed this framework is supporting us to do some management activities and then to do some automation activities. Probably we are going to involve in this particular area. What about rest of the sections team? If you go here, we have a data integrity section, reporting section as well, right? So see here, data integrity section, we use test the huge amount of data. So huge amount of data is nothing but we can go with here ETL testing. So do you have an idea ETL testing, snowflake testing, okay, and big data testing. These all are the different kind of data testing. If you want to do a testing of those areas, always use a data integrity section. This is also part of the project creation only. We have to enable this option, then only you will get data integrity option. So the last and final one is a reporting section. This is we use to create a customized report. Customized reports. So in Tosca, it is providing a ultimate platform to us to create a customized reports team. Okay. So what is meant by customized report? So in Tosca, it will give a default one particular format of the report or report format. We can say anything here. What is that? Report format. So report format. So let me open any one of the report which is already created. So this is a tri-scientist report team. If you go a little bit up, you can see execution test report, and here number of test cases are passed or failed. This is the sum chart representation, and here you can see the next like the test case is passed or failed. This is a default report the tri-scientist is providing to us. But here, what is meant by customized? So definitely we show these reports to client. Okay. Maybe the client wants to add a client logo. That means Bank of America is planning to add a Bank of America logo. Yes, Tim, we can easily add this Bank of America logo to this particular exported report. Here you can see the right side top corner. Which logo are you able to see here right now? Tricentis. So team, I don't want to see Tricentis here. If my client is Bank of America, I just want to see Bank of America. If my client is ABB, yes, I can see here only ABB. So like this in real time, what happens? They'll customize the report based on their project specifications. Clear? The entire framework is clear, team.
Yes, sir.
So majorly we had a chance to work with this automation point of view only. And even we are learning Tosca only for automation purpose, right? Not for management, yes or no?
Yes.
So the framework explanation team. So is anyone clear or still do you have any questions here?
One question for test case design. Where do we create the test data? It's on the
If you go to
rules.
Tosca, here you can see one option like a test case design. Okay. In this test case design, create one test sheet. Just do check out. create one test sheet under this create test data.
Okay.
So I'm just creating one test data. So this is a different terminology, but try to understand only data aggregation. I'm just created one data for email, another one is password. Okay. In a email field, right click on here, select this one. In the email field, you can see just enter different email IDs. For example, here I'm just entering nextit@gmail.com. This is one mail, and if we go to here, create another mail. Just do double click on this to modify the mail. Something q icon at Gmail. So how many possibilities right now I entered? Two possibilities. The similar way you can enter data for the password as well. Once you enter this data, we have to select the combinations. To select combination, go to test sheet. Are you able to see one combination is added here?
Yeah. Yes.
Team, select like this. If you want to create another combination, go here and create one more instance. Add here another combination like negative testing, positive testing, and negative testing. So here, if you select the test sheet, you can see one more sheet is added. Just select the combination here. Understand? Like this, we design only data here. Once you design the data, we can map this particular test sheet to a test case and then we do executions. Clear? But team, to learn this test case design, hardly it takes for us like 3 to 4 days. So we have that much of things is available in test case design. But don't worry, I'll explain the things very clearly in going forward. Okay? Clear, Abir, how to create a test data in a test case design section?
Yes, ma'am. Little bit. Thanks.
Thank you. So, team, any other questions today's concept like modular framework concept? Team, anything else? Clear, right, everyone? Please do confirm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you're clear for that's it for today's session, team. So we'll connect tomorrow same time. Thanks to you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. Bye bye.
Very good. Bye.